Hello everybody, how you doing? That sounds good. Thanks for the feedback there. Okay, slide number 1. Let's see if we can make it work. Well, first, no. Second, so while we're working on that, a little bit about the business model canvas. We will not be talking about that because the business model canvas is very relevant if you're a little bit later or a little bit further in your entrepreneurship adventure. If you know exactly basically what you're going to do and you validated your model, so you know basically what your business model will be, then the business model canvas is comes in very handy. But we'll talk a little bit about the lean canvas, and I think you all have it over there. Can I check? Yeah, awesome. Yeah, that's the lean canvas. Okay, so a little bit about me. I'm a business coach. I talk to a lot of businesses, startups, and corporate ventures. I've had several startups myself with mixed success. I've been down the drain, I failed, and I've also succeeded. So that was really nice. For example, I raised some funding, €1 million, and also went to Silicon Valley and back again. So that's a little bit about me. Let's see which button works. Ah, that one. Okay, so this morning you've talked about ideas and getting ideas. Who of you currently has a business idea? Raise your hand. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. More business ideas? Yeah, we have that one over there. Okay, cool. Could you quickly tell me your idea?
Well, it's a bit difficult to describe, but it's basically a safety system for big companies, like personal safety in case of emergencies.
Cool. Thank you. That was pretty quick, actually, for a first pitch, right? So, anybody else looking to get an idea or start a business in the future? Yeah, we have 1. Okay, and 2. That's great. Okay, so you guys have an idea. Now, I have some good news. If you persevere, so that means you keep the idea in mind and you keep working on it, in the end, you'll win. As in the end, you'll succeed if you just keep at it. But usually if you just create it, then it will take a long time. So that's a little bit of the bad news, because what is your first thought if you have an idea? Could you tell me what the next step would be as an entrepreneur?
To validate your basic assumptions and to see if there is demand for your idea.
Okay, that's great. Do you have something to add to that?
To see who the competitors are.
Okay, yeah, competitors. Okay, yeah. You have another one?
Start building a prototype.
Yeah, building a prototype. Yeah, that's the one I was looking for. The thing is, usually if I talk to entrepreneurs, step 1 is to have an idea, and step 2 is basically build it. Go build it, and then the problem with that is that usually you find out that something is not really working. It could be anything. Basically, it could be the pricing. It could be that basically the whole concept doesn't work, but just the market is good. You need to come up with another concept. So in the end, if you keep iterating, which is what a lot of businesses do, they bring out something, and then in the end, sometimes they fire the sales manager, or they do something where they find out that maybe we need to take a different approach, and they just go do that, and then they have to keep iterating. So that will take a long time. So the question is how to basically save time, because we don't want to be that old when we have business success. We want to be a little bit more like our last speaker. So how do we save time? Could you repeat your answer?
Validate your business assumptions.
Great. Any other ways to save time?
You can do it with the
Minimum viable product. Okay, that's great. So basically, what's that for those who don't know?
well, you can test it with a very basic prototype to just make a prototype test
small prototype. Don't not make the whole big thing. Not go out and buy a big office in Belgium at the start. So the basic thing is that we want to make decisions based on data. So every decision we make, we don't want to go with just our gut feeling. We want to try to get some data. We want to make a more informed decision, because a more informed decision means a better decision, right? Which is at the university something which really makes sense, of course, because at the university, if a professor says that this or this is true, then he has to provide some research. But in business life, what a lot of people do is just they go out and they do a lot, and then when you ask them why that works, usually they come up with an answer like, well, we think that is the best thing for a customer, or we think that's the best thing for our clients, or one client of mine just said that that was really good. And that's usually not really the way to go, because if you do that, then you basically spend a lot of money doing something which you're not really sure on. So I could imagine, for example, there's what I did, and I built an app, and I built the app basically with some investment. I didn't validate it, and nobody came. Yeah, it's just a very clear story. It happens to lots of apps. But the key is, if I would have tested it, it wouldn't be that so much of a problem. So the reason we want to do what we do is that we test. If we test, we find out pretty quickly what works and what doesn't work. It's basic. Can you give me an example of how you would validate your assumptions?
Talk with your customer.
Yeah, that's correct. That's one way to test, right? Another one would be, for example, could you give me an example? No? No? Could you give me an example for a test? No? Could you try? No? You couldn't try. Okay. Oh, okay. How should you test, basically? How can you test as a business? Test what works. Just try it. Just do it. Just do it. Go Nike. Well, for example, you can run a Facebook ad, or you can do a survey, or you can talk to customers. There's lots of ways to test. And one thing I can tell a little bit about is the method Lean Startup. And Lean Startup, I don't know if you guys are familiar with that. Have you heard of that? Yes. What's Lean Startup? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, a little bit like that. So basically what we do with Lean Startup is the concept of testing within a business setting, and then especially for startups. The founder of Lean Startup, Eric Ries, he built this huge app for a company. He was a programmer, and at some point they finally went live after 2 years of working on the project, and they found out basically that nobody likes it. And they found that out just by making a landing page. So they made the landing page as the last one, as the last thing he did. And then before that he created a huge product, but nobody went in. So his idea was, why not make the landing page just, and then see if people are interested in that. So that was the first idea behind like an MVP or something where programmers don't get frustrated because they've built this huge thing. So why not beforehand test it? And this is the basic of Lean Startup right here, which means that you first learn, or you build, measure, learn. So that means you have an idea, you build something or you create something. That could be a conversation, or it could be a website. And then with that you measure, and with that measurement you learn. And then you build something new. So this is a cycle where you try to optimize, optimize, optimize. And the key to this whole optimization cycle is that you learn. A lot of companies just execute. They do, but then it's very, very hard to learn. So what actually creates great execution is the fact that you learn. Because if you learn more, you can execute better. And you can create more value for your customers or create more value in your business. So most startups in general, they fail because they quit. In the end, they just stop. What do you think is that?
No market for it, for the product yourself.
Okay, no market, yeah. What do you think that most startups quit?
No money or inspiration.
No money or?
Inspiration.
Inspiration. Yeah, could be. But mostly we see that they lose motivation after failure. So all startups fail at some point, as in they make a mistake, or they do something, they build something that people don't want, or they create something which they don't like, or the founder leaves, or something like that. But you don't have to quit, per se. You can just continue. The reason why they basically quit is because they lose motivation. And why would you lose motivation?
Because you don't have passion anymore.
Yeah, basically. If you don't have passion, usually because you don't test your product and you fight an uphill battle. So that means you need to do a lot of work, and without testing it, you need to do a lot of work because you don't know what your customer will like. So you just work and work and work and work and work, and in the end you don't see any results. So the results frustrate you basically, and then you lose motivation and you quit. So this is what a lot of companies feel like, the top left. If you don't test or you don't find out what your customer wants, you just keep pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing. We need to do more marketing budget, we need to hire better people, we need to get investment first, or you're trying to push something without, let's say, trying to achieve something without having a real good idea of what to do. You just keep pushing. And what we want to go is to the top right model, where you basically have growth that goes downhill. And the downhill growth is because you're doing something that people actually like. And you tend to see that your customers actually follow you. And people want to join your mission because it's working, and you have momentum on your side. So momentum is extremely important. So what do we test in general? What would you say? What would you test?
Well, you first need to test if there's actually someone that's willing to pay for your products, for example.
Yeah. Something else you might want to test? No?
Okay, yeah.
Your MVP.
MVP, yeah, definitely. First of all, I would say you should test your assumptions about what you think will work, right? Because you're starting this company, you have this idea, and it's based on what you think that will work. So with your idea, for example, right, it was security with corporates, right? Exactly. So for that, can you come up with an assumption that's related to that needs to work in order for the company to be a success?
Well, for example, that these companies are going to be, or clients actually have the need for a more developed safety system than what they already have.
That's great. That's great. They need to have some sort of problem about their current security setup or their current security system. Because if they don't have any problem with what they're currently doing, then why would they buy a new service? So this is basically what you see all the time. So let's see who also had an idea. We had more people with an idea. Yeah. So can you tell me what do you think would your biggest or most important assumption be?
That people find it hard to
Okay, can you tell me your idea?
Yes, it's a cross-user platform where you can share your personal experiences while traveling. And on the other side, you can find the best suited experience based on your personality. For example, when you go to Barcelona and you are into wine tasting, you find the hotspots for you where you like wine tasting.
Okay. And what was your most important assumption again? Nice idea.
Thanks. That people find it hard to not only find the tourist spot, but find the spot which actually suits your personality.
Yeah, exactly. So if people don't have trouble finding something that matches with them or their personality, then that would be a problem for you. But if they do have difficulty, then you know that's the reason to go and work on this business a little bit further. So for Apple, for example, let's say Apple, they're making new phones, etc., new computers. What would be their most important assumption?